Hi, I am Aarti Krishnan. Welcome to the 9th episode of Question of Money. In the previous episode, we had talked about the employees' provident fund and how your salary is compulsorily docked to a certain extent in order to make up contributions to the EPF. But if you do not like these compulsory contributions, we do not blame you, because who likes forced savings imposed on them by the government? If you do not like to commit yourself to fixed payments to the EPF and still want to save for retirement, then you can consider the National Pension System or the NPS. You can just make your minimum contributions of 1500 rupees a month to EPF and invest the rest of your savings in NPS. There are 6 aspects on which the NPS scores over the EPF. You would have heard of cases where startups have not deposited their employees' salaries in the EPF, whereas they have docked the pay of the employees. You would also have heard of friends or other people struggling to close their EPF account or transfer their balances after they quit their job. All this happens because your EPF contributions are routed through your employer. With the NPS, there is no such problem because you are opening the NPS account individually through electronic means and there is no employer who is coming into the equation. NPS is not just open to salaried employees, it can be used by gig workers, by freelancers, self-employed people, in fact all the folks who actually do not have access to the EPF. The EPF requires you to commit to a certain proportion of your salary going into the fund every month. The 12% is the minimum, as we discussed in the previous episode. Whereas with the NPS, there is no such minimum or fixed contribution. You can open an NPS account with as little as 500 rupees and the NPS account will remain active as long as you can contribute 1000 rupees a year into the account. If you want to skip the payment in a particular month or want to just save money that month, that is perfectly fine and your NPS account will remain active even if you skip it. If you still need the discipline, you can sign up for systematic investment plans or SIPs just as you do with mutual funds. Now, up to 1.5 lakh of your annual contributions in the NPS are actually left out of your income while calculating tax. This is the ATC exemption and this is an exemption you get for the EPF as well. But there is an added sweetener with the NPS. An additional rupees 50,000 that you put into NPS is also exempted from tax under section 80 CCD 1B of the Income Tax Act. So, if you have already exhausted your ATC limits by contributing to EPF or other investments like insurance etc., even then this extra 50,000 rupees which you can contribute to NPS can be left out of your tax calculations and lead to tax saving. This applies only to your NPS tier 1 account and not to the tier 2 account. In EPF, as we told you, the return that comes to you depends on the interest that is declared by the scheme's trustees and the government every year. Whereas in the NPS, just like mutual funds, your money is basically invested in market linked instruments and the fund managers actually declare a daily NAV. They also declare a monthly portfolio. So, you know exactly where your money is going and you can also track the returns on a daily basis based on how the NAV is moving. With the EPF, you really have no choice about where your money is being invested. According to government rules, over 85% of your contributions into the EPF actually go into bonds and government securities. This makes for fairly low returns. Whereas on the NPS, you can decide what mix of assets you choose to invest in. NPS offers all investors the choice of investing between equities, corporate bonds and government bonds. And you can choose to mix your investments in any proportion between these 3 assets. For people in their 20s or 30s, they can max out their equity investments at the 75% limit given by the scheme and they can actually earn much higher returns. For people who are risk averse or closer to retirement, they can keep their equity investments at a minimum or even at zero and choose to invest their entire contribution only in bonds. The other thing is you can vary this asset mix also whenever you want based on your life situation and your risk appetite. Apart from the choice of assets, NPS also helps you choose who will manage your money. So, there are 7 fund managers under the NPS and you can choose any one to manage your money based on their track record so far in the scheme. Many folks prefer the EPF because of its fixed returns that are guaranteed by the government, and recently EPF has been declaring about 8% every year. But if you look at the NPS, it does invest in market instruments. So, when stocks or bonds go up or down, your returns from the NPS can vary year after year. But if you look at NPS returns over a long period like 10 years, you find that over this holding period, the returns get smoothed out. If you actually take stock of NPS returns, you find that across fund managers, it has delivered a very healthy return to its investors. The equity fund managers of the NPS have delivered 12 to 13% CAGR returns over the last 10 years. The government bond and the corporate bond schemes have given 7 to 9% per annum over this period. NPS debt options have in fact fared better than many mutual funds because the NPS charges such low fees. The annual fee that the NPS charges to manage your money is 0.09% only. The NPS has some minuses too. Firstly, your investments in the NPS are locked in until you retire, which is the age of 60. Suppose you want to withdraw your money early, you can withdraw only 25% of your contributions, and there also there are a few rules and conditions to how you can withdraw them. In the case of EPF though, as we told you, if you are unemployed for 2 months, you can withdraw the entire balance. Secondly, the NPS has rules about how you can take home the maturity amount. In the case of EPF, your entire maturity proceeds are just given to you, no questions asked at the time of retirement. But with the NPS, there is a rule that you can take out only 60% of your maturity amount as a lump sum. 40% has to go compulsorily into buying a pension for yourself for the rest of your life. This pension will be taxed at your slab rate as well. NPS also offers a tier 2 account which you can open only after tier 1 with certain different conditions. So, you can enter or withdraw from tier 2 at any time, and it does not have any of the rules on pension etc. But it does not offer any of the tax breaks of tier 1 account. So, viewers, thank you for watching all these episodes of Question of Money. We finished 9 so far. Our 10th episode will be a special one where we hope to answer some of the questions that we have been getting about the personal finances of young people. If you have any questions to ask us, please drop a line in the comment section of this video.